All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. ATR podcast. Gio Garcia here. I'm alongside Christian Mosqueda. Back for another episode. We got some action this weekend, Chris. We actually got some good fights coming up. A good 12th round in December. Some good fights to end the year. Welcome back to the show.
You said it, Gio. It's an interesting weekend, right? I don't know how to describe this fight, Gio, but I know that you've been waiting it for months. Give me your thoughts on this date. It pins a YouTube entrepreneur, I want to say boxer now, entertainer, in Jake Paul versus the face of British boxing in Anthony Joshua, Gio. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Well, yeah, we can start with that, Chris, if you want. We have other fights, but I guess you're so excited that you want to start with this one. You see the card there? Uh, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, 8 rounds, heavyweights, Miami, Florida. It's live on Netflix. It's not a pay per view. If you have Netflix, you can watch it for quote unquote free. We got Alicia Baumgartner, shout out to her, against Layla Badouan. I don't know if I say that right. Anderson Silva versus Tyron Woodley. Both men who Jake Paul defeated, correct? He defeated Anderson Silva as well.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Caroline Dubois against Camila Panata. And then you guys see a couple other title fights there, including Yocasta Valle against Yadira Bustillos and other youngsters also on that card. Um, I feel like I haven't really been paying too much attention to the build up to the press conferences. Haven't heard much from it, honestly. I don't really go on Netflix. Can't remember the last time I went on Netflix, but I'll be tuned in. I'll be tuned in this Saturday. It's Saturday, right? Is there Friday night? 19th? Oh, it's
Yeah.
actually Friday night. Wow. Actually, I don't know if I'll be tuned in. Maybe I'll catch it on Saturday.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same boat with you, Joe. Obviously, we're big boxing aficionados. Even though we do give Jake Paul his flowers for doing everything he's done to bring eyes to the sport, entertaining along the way. This isn't something that we've truly been paying attention. I think today's the first time I see, a build-up video, a little sit down between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. And when I saw the views, it was like 337,000. So even though I'm not watching, Gio, doesn't mean that people are not watching. Again, both of these guys have huge fan bases. Obviously, Jake Paul through his YouTube empire, Anthony Joshua has a whole country behind him. So there's people are going to be watching. Obviously, we're talking about it. It's something worth mentioning. But yeah, man, I'm not giving Jake Paul too much of a chance. But at the same time, Gio, I don't know. As much as I want to give him props for bringing entertainment, I was very heavily disappointed, and that's my fault on my own accord, my naivety, thinking that these things are not scripted with the whole Mike Tyson. So yeah, man, if he doesn't get knocked out, man, I'm gonna have some words for Joshua Gio.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and pull up the poll as I'm typing here. I'll go ahead and pull up the poll that I just posted on our YouTube channel, um asking whether Jake Paul stands a chance or not. We shall see, but let's go to the fight details first, right? So you see the headlines there, many headlines. Sure, the audience will be massive. You see Anthony Joshua there looking ready, looking sharp, looking ripped. 245 pounds is his limit. He cannot weigh in higher than 245 pounds. You would think it shouldn't be too much of an issue for Anthony Joshua, who's normally in really good shape. 10-ounce gloves, which is a standard for a heavyweight fight. And yeah, Joshua's back in the States, now in Miami, Florida. And you see Jake Paul, who's now 12-1, 7 KOs. He was defeated versus Tommy Fury, right? Obviously, Anthony Joshua, 28-4, 25 KOs, something to keep an eye on. He was stopped the last time out against Daniel Dubois. And yeah, there's still rumors of that possible Tyson Fury fight. Obviously, I think most people would think that Joshua should be able to get through this challenge without many challenges, without many obstacles. Um, and yeah, it's just gonna be interesting to see um, what we get. Typically Jake Paul fights look more like exhibitions. This sounds like it's gonna be a real fight. And the last time we saw him in one of those, as I said, Tommy Fury, he was defeated. So we'll see. We all expect him to lose. How will he lose? I think is a big question.
Yeah, again, if there's not too much scripting, I don't see Joshua going the distance. Again, I give Jake Paul lots of credit for learning the game and getting as high as he's gotten. He's a decent boxer. Like you said, he only lost to Tommy Fury, who's an okay boxer, but between a boxer and someone that's just picked up the sport, there's levels to it. So again, we saw what Anthony Joshua did to Ngannou, and even though I do believe Jake Paul's a much better athlete, a much better boxer, I don't think he's going to be able to stay away from that right hand for 10 plus rounds. So yeah, man, Gio. Again, if it goes past 4 rounds, I feel like the a bit of a fix is in, a bit of a don't make Jake Paul look too bad. He's got a brand to protect. So I can see them getting rounds in, Gio. But yeah, again, if Joshua wants to walk away with a little bit of respect, he's got to knock him out, man. In my opinion, again, I know Jake Paul's gonna give a good account of himself, but yeah, man, I don't see him going the distance. And if he does, then I'm gonna say that Joshua let him off easy, man. And that was just to secure the bag, Gio.
All right, and it's you guys remember originally it was supposed to be Tank Davis who was fighting Jake Paul. Crazy. Pulled the plug. MVP pulled the plug after Davis' ex-girlfriend Courtney Russell filed a civil lawsuit against him. So yeah, that fight was supposed to happen about a month ago. Um, Joshua pretty much um, said, "Hey, I'll take it. I'll take the bag, Chris. You got the numbers there. We'll reveal those in a second. We know they're getting paid. And as we take a look at the odds too, these are the odds for the fight. Obviously, we know Anthony Joshua should be the heavy favorite. The odds have him at approximately minus 900 to minus 1300. Jake Paul plus 600 to plus 770. All right, and let's see um, some methods of victory here. Joshua by KO, TKO, DQ is the most likely outcome with odds ranging around minus 400, minus 425. Paul, on the other hand, to win by KO, TKO, or DQ is around plus 1,000, Chris. So, yeah, I think we would agree with these odds, right?
Yeah, I think that they're pretty spot on. What was the KO for Joshua again? What was it that odds?
Minus 400 to about minus 425.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Yeah, no, again, I don't think there's too many bookies that are favoring Jake Paul unless there's a fix that's in. Let me ask you, Gio, is there any way that a fix is in and Joshua is gonna come out losing to the much smaller, less experienced Jake Paul?
Hey man, I think anything is possible, especially in a fight like this. There's so much money involved. I personally don't see it happening, but I feel like we've seen crazier things in boxing. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I again when I saw that Mike Tyson withheld a lot, I know that later on they said, "Oh, he's old. He probably didn't have anything to give," but he could have let his hands go in the beginning. So that showed me that there is some amount of fixing. So I don't think Joshua is going to make himself look bad, but I do see him maybe giving some rounds. But yeah, I don't see Joshua losing. If he does,
Yeah.
I'm packing it up, man. I'm packing it up, Gio.
And I feel like he will feel comfortable doing that, playing that game. He's the much
Yeah,
bigger man physically. He's much stronger. He's much more experienced. Um, he has a decent chin. He's been hit uh, by the biggest punchers, I feel like, in the heavyweight division. He's fought
yeah,
nearly everyone, with the exception of, you can say, Deontay Wilder, right?
yeah,
And obviously Tyson Fury, which that fight might still happen. It's still going to be
yeah,
probably the biggest fight in UK history. So I feel like you will be comfortable taking a punch from a guy like Jake Paul. And on the other hand,
yeah.
you mentioned Ngannou. Anthony Joshua knows he has that one punch KO power. He can put you out, lights out. So, yeah, I can see that too. I can really see him giving away some rounds, making it entertaining. But I don't see a fight like the one versus Mike Tyson happening. I don't know, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I know people say don't be pocket watching or bag watching, but how can you not, Gio? This is we knew that this is one of those money bags. You know, we know that Joshua would only take this fight if he knew that he was getting paid money that he, getting offer that he couldn't refuse. So let's get into it, Gio. How much do you think they're gonna be making more money than Canelo Crawford? That's the last fight that we kind of know, was big money for both Crawford and Canelo.
I pulled it up. I didn't get a chance to see it, guys. All right. So I haven't seen the numbers. Canelo got what? 100? What did he get?
I know Crawford got 50, correct?
I'm
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. I think Canelo got 100 and Crawford about 50. Let's look it up.
Sounds about right.
Crawford purse. All right. So 150 million for Canelo, roughly 50 million for. They didn't make more than that, Chris. Not combined. Not combined. It's my guess. I don't know. What is that? 200 million combined. I don't think Joshua and Paul get that, but if they do, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. But I don't think so. What numbers are you looking at right now?
I'm looking at 92 million per fighter, Gio. So I think they're making close to a little bit south of 200 million. So right around there. And again, this is a YouTuber turned boxer and the face of British boxing, and across is the face of boxing in Canelo. We knew that he was always going to bring money, and then Chance Crawford, who's not a big name, obviously the biggest win of his career, and we'll talk about him. Great big announcement earlier today, but yeah, man, that's impressive that they're right there in line, Gio, and I think that they may be making more after Netflix and ads and all that. But well, what numbers are you seeing? Are you
Yeah.
seeing the same?
Yeah, I pulled it up. 184 million combined. 92. Even though Jake Paul has hinted at an even larger figure, 267 million. I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's a lot of money, Chris, for a guy who has what, 13 professional bouts, and Jake Paul, and man, that's crazy. But I feel like it just shows us really how big boxing still is. We shouldn't need
Yeah.
a personality like Jake Paul, who's known on the internet, YouTube, all that stuff, to put these types of fights on. But if he's not, then who else, Chris? Who else? We'll talk
Yeah, no,
about someone who recently retired. We'll talk about that on the show. I'm sure you guys saw it on the title. He got his payday and ran, Chris. He said, "I'm out of here." But let's be real. I've been saying the boxing superstar is dead. It's been dead. Besides Canelo, besides, you can say, Anthony Joshua. Now you got to put Jake Paul in that convo. Unfortunately for some people, but those guys are the money, the money makers, man, the cash cows. And now we have two of those guys fighting each other. So those figures are very large, but it sounds about right.
yeah. Again, Jake Paul brings in a massive YouTube youth audience, and yeah, man, Joshua brings in the heavyweight presence, the UK crowd. You know, a lot is invested into boxing from the UK side. So yeah, again, I'm not surprised. I kind of did predict that it'd be a little bit more based on the Crawford. I feel that as a big name, but again, it's pretty close. It's right there, neck and neck. And yeah, I feel like I can't blame Joshua. At the end of the day, they're prize fighters, so you have to try to get as much money. And I feel like even though this is gonna be a glorified sparring, Geo, like come on, man, to get paid that much money to do a sparring session, come on, that's you gotta you. We wouldn't say no to that. We would do it for 1 million, probably even less. But yeah, man, it's gonna be one of the biggest paydays in all of boxing, Joe, for sure.
Yeah, and Big Bro doesn't believe the numbers he says. Where's he getting all that large figure from? The live gate will be very, very interesting because it's gonna be in Miami. Um,
Yeah,
not a city particularly known for boxing. Usually it's Vegas, LA, New York, even cities in Texas more recently, like San Antonio. You know, not necessarily Miami, but Jake Paul has been fighting there. And yeah, that figure, if released after the fight, will be an interesting one to take a look at. But let's go ahead and look at the records real quick, Chris. 28-4 for Anthony Joshua, 25 KOs. AJ, look up his age while I'm going through his resume. His last fight, as I mentioned, September of 2024. Over a year ago, he got stopped versus Daniel Dubois. Before that, Francis Ngannou, that big KO. He also stopped Otto Wallin. He stopped Robert Helenius. He stopped Jermaine Franklin. And then in 2022, in 2021 is when he had those back-to-back losses versus Alexander Usyk. But if you take a look at that resume, a lot of big names: Kubrat Pulev, Andy Ruiz twice, Alexander Povetkin, Joseph Parker, Carlos Takam, Vladimir Klitschko, Eric Molina, Dominic Brazil, Charles Martin, Dillian White. These are all back to back, Chris. This guy was fighting big names since early on in his career. He only has 32 pro fights. So big ups to Joshua. He has one of the best resumes in heavyweight boxing here. Let me pull that up for you guys. Sorry, I was just reading the names from here. But if I scroll down, if you take a look at it, big names. And how old is he, Chris? Did you find it?
he's 36 years young, Gio. I would have thought
36.
he'd be a little bit older with all those fights that he's had, but 36 years old, Joshua.
And Jake Paul, of course, 13 pro fights. He's 28 years old, 7 KOs. But if you look at it there, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., that was very questionable to me, Chris. I don't know. You talk about the Tyson fight. I don't know. The Chavez fight was a little suspect to me too. You see Nate Diaz, Tommy Fury was his loss. Not many names that you'll recognize here from the boxing world, but MMA fighters, Nate Robinson, basketball player. And yeah, you can say his second fight against a professional fighter who's actually active and not 60 years old, right?
Yeah. No, again, I think Junior. I feel like there's some fishiness there, but he's the one guy that you can be like, man, that guy's not disciplined. So I can see him losing that fight based on stamina. So that one I can defend, I guess, for Jake Paul.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Let's go to the poll. Last thing on this fight. Last thing on this fight. Let's go to the poll that I posted. Let me refresh it. I just posted it before the podcast began. So I'm sure we have a few votes. 19 votes so far, Chris. Does Jake Paul stand a chance versus Anthony Joshua? I'll let you cast my vote for me. What do you think? Yes, no,
He does not stand a chance. I
no.
think that's going to be almost 100% that he doesn't stand a chance.
75% of the people are saying no, 25 are saying yes. So far, there's only 20 votes. So, yeah, I have a feeling by the time we get closer to fight night, that's going to look a lot wider in favor of Anthony Joshua. Let's go to some comments here. How are you doing, bros? Oh, shout out to Jess, man. Jess Potter Dreams. Shout out to our boy. We're doing well, man. How are you? I hope your boy's doing well as well. You guys still working hard out there? Big Bro says he doesn't sell out big arenas or sell millions of PPVs. Something seems off right now, he says, money wise.
Yeah, I don't know how the Netflix ad how that works, but they got to be paying him. I think he's got a very smart team, lawyers, agents, whatever. I'm pretty sure they're convincing Netflix that there's gonna be so many eyeballs, so many people subscribing, just to see Jake Paul that he deserves this money. And again, I don't know how the numbers work, but just seeing that little face off between him and Joshua, that one had a bunch of views, like 330K in one day. So I mean, he's entertaining. He's got the numbers. He's got the followers. It's gonna translate it to big bucks.
All right. Any last thoughts on this fight, Chris? Will you be tuned in Friday? That's a big question.
I got Netflix, Gio, so I don't see why not. If it's we've talked about our complaints for some of these pay-per-views, some of these subscriptions that we're a part of, and then we still got to pay another paywall. So the fact that I don't have to do this with Netflix, I think I'm going to tune in again. Jake Paul's entertaining. I'm sure there's going to be some fun in-ring entrances. And Joshua's entrance is always, superhuman. It's always like a Superman coming out. So yeah, man, I'm gonna tune in, but don't expect me to buy into the shenanigans, Joe. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it on Saturday. Not gonna lie, I'll be busy Friday night, but yeah, I'll tune in. I'll try not to go on Instagram or YouTube or anything, and probably catch it Saturday whenever I get a chance. Um, yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm not gonna lie. We can see a big KO, Chris. Maybe one of the KOs of the year if Joshua looks like Joshua. So yeah, might steal it at the end. Might steal it at the end.
Exactly. There you go.
All right.
Do we want to do a prediction round for KO?
Ooh,
I think
round.
both going KO. Right? It's about guessing the round. I would think.
All right. What do you got? I just came up with my answer on the spot. Jess says he's doing well. AJ 100%, he says. I got my round, Chris. What you got?
I'm gonna do this one for the youth. I'm gonna do this for the Jake Paul fans. I'm gonna say 6-7. I'm gonna say 7, Gio. Seventh round.
Man, I'm gonna go round 5, Chris. I'm not as cool as him. I'm gonna say 5. Round 5. He'll play with
All right, I'm
he'll
not
play
mad at
with
that.
his food a little bit. He'll play with his food a little bit and then take him out. That's what I think is gonna happen.
I'm not mad at that. Again, if it's in the contract to go more than 5, then I feel like I'm gonna win this one. But yeah, that right landed and gone in round 2. I don't see it lasting much longer than that.
All right, there you have it. That's Friday. Let me go ahead and read what's on that card again as well. We always like to give, some shine to those boxers on the undercard, and that's actually going to be a pretty good card uh dominated by women. Alicia Baumgartner, man, shout out to her. You see her there. Anderson Silva against Tyron Woodley. Caroline Dubois is on it. Yoka Savaya is on this. So, yeah, I'm intrigued. I might catch the show, like I said, the next day whenever I get a chance. But last comment here. Jess says it's scripted 6-7. That's hilarious.
It might be.
All right, hey, let's go
If that
to.
happens,
Yeah, go ahead.
man. I was gonna say if that happens, man, he knows what he's doing in there.
It's gonna
That's Jake Paul. He knows his audience.
it's gonna be right after round 6, huh? Right in between round 6, right in between round 7. That's funny. All right, but let's go to the boxing schedule, Chris, because we do have some action this weekend. Tim's you, Chris. Tim's you's back.
Mm.
Where are we at? Tim's you, 25-3, 18 KOs. He's 31 years old. He got stopped back to back versus Fundora. I'm sorry, he lost back to back against Fundora. Murtazaliev made a bit of a comeback this year against Joey Spencer, and then got stopped against Fundora. And now he's going up against Anthony Velasquez, who we don't know much of, but he is undefeated, Chris, 18-0, and he does have 15 KOs. 29 years old. On paper, this looks like a dangerous fight for Tim Tszyu.
Yeah, I know in previous podcasts I've said that Anthony Joshua is damaged goods. I've said that recently about Tim Tszyu, and it's very unfortunate because we're very high on Tim Tszyu. Early on, we were very excited about what he was going to do. Obviously, we know he's got that legacy with his legendary father, so we were very, very, bought in to Tim Tszyu. But tough fights, man. This is one of the hottest divisions at 154, and Tim Tszyu has gone in there with some beasts, with some some very dangerous men, and he's come off the short end. So yeah, Gio, again, Tim Tszyu is one of those guys. He goes on social media and kind of he's very raw. He says he's going to come back. I feel like he needs to be a little bit more, why when it comes to that and just do his talking in the ring. But yeah, man, we've criticized his team a lot. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he changed management teams, coaching teams. I might be wrong, but I think that's what I read last time out. But yeah, this sounds like this is the same management team putting him with. Again, we don't know too much about this fighter, but it does look like another dangerous match when you combine it with his damaged goods kind of stigma that he has now. So I don't know, Gio. Again, I want to see a comeback. I want to see Tim Tszyu come back near the top of his game. But I don't know if this is the right man. We'll see what happens, man. I'm rooting for Tim Tszyu though.
Yeah, so he did get a new trainer. This is his third fight of the year too. He fought
Yeah,
who was it? I believe it was Joey Spencer here. Let me pull that up. What am I looking at? He fought Joey Spencer in April, Sebastian Fundora 3 months after that in July, and now he's fighting Anthony Velasquez this week, and that's in Australia. Now, his trainer, Pedro Diaz, Cuban coach, all right, so he's switching it up. This is going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be a good challenge, and we'll see what Tim Tszyu we see. Man, the arena is called TikTok Entertainment Center, Chris. Oh man,
it's crazy.
the young listeners are gonna love this show, Chris.
Gen Zers, man.
Yeah,
We're
but
gonna have to put a
that's
keyword there for them.
an interesting fight that's going down this uh the 17th Saturday of probably Saturday night over there in Australia. Um, Also we got Ramon Cardenas, our boy. He's fighting on the 18th, that Saturday as well. Ramon Cardenas, who wait, the 18th?
I
That's
believe so. I think it's
that's Thursday. Tim's you too. The 17th. Is that tonight? Man, I'm mixing up my dates. That's crazy.
uh,
There's
Tuesday, Gio. It's Tuesday.
La,
Scared me for a second there.
La Princesa Olasquaga is also fighting live from Tokyo. Man, was all these weekday fights, Chris? That's crazy. Lawrence Okoli's fighting Friday night too, but that's in Nigeria. But anyway, Ramon Cardenas is headlining Pro Box TV. Obviously, we know Ramon Cardenas had that big opportunity against Naoya Inoue recently. He's 26-2 now, 14 KOs, 30 years old. He got stopped against Inoue in May, Cinco de Mayo weekend. Had a good outing, and now he's going up against Eric Robles Ayala, 16-3. Looks like a comeback fight for him, so hopefully he looks good and gets another big opportunity, Ramon Cardenas.
And Gio, like it's no coincidence. It's very close there with the Naoya Inoue fight a couple of weeks from now. So it's trying to stay close. It's obviously I know that there's rumors if Naoya Inoue and his countryman Nakatani win their respective bouts, that might be happening. But hey, we know our boy Ramon is there for challenges, and I'm sure he thinks about that moment where he knocked down the monster in a way, the pound for pounder, and I think he's gonna want to look back. But we'll see what happens. Again, shout out to him. We know he's gonna have a good outing come fight night, man. But yeah, Gio, fight week. During the week, man, you know what they say, the quinceañeras and the weddings, the ballrooms are cheaper, man, during the week, Gio.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, shout out to Jez. Yeah, message us on IG. I'm down. I'm down to drop by. He's saying we should pull up. That Gomez will be there with Robert after New Year's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, hit us up, man. Texas.
Phil
Texas.
Gomez.
Hell yeah. All right. Diego Pacheco, Chris, 25-0, 18 KOs. He's 24 still, very young. He got dropped in this one. Round 8 at the end. He won a unanimous. But yeah, Diego Pacheco has some action. Stockton, California. But yeah, I think that video of him getting dropped was the one that made the rounds, Chris. Thoughts on Diego Pacheco?
Yeah, let me just say, like, I know he's got a lot of tangibles. He's very talented. The height, the reach, the speed. It's hard for me, even with that said, to get excited about him. I don't know why. I know that he's got the goods again. What comes out winning once again gets dropped. I think even though a lot of people didn't expect that, it's more intriguing because there's moments where he's vulnerable. So I think that makes him for an intriguing fighter, a la Amir Khan status. So again, he overcomes some adversity, gets a W. Again, he's got all those tools, man. But I want to see more personality, Gio. I want to see more, entertainment outside the ring. I think he's got to be a little bit more outspoken. But other than that, it was a great fight, very entertaining, back and forth. His opponent landed some very good shots. Strong, motivated, but obviously just the advantages for Pacheco uh, were the tell of the fight. But I mean, at the learning experience getting dropped, I think he was hugging a little bit. I don't know if it was the flash down or he was a little bit hurt. But man, again, that's adversity, and then Pacheco wins, and then he moves on, man. But what did you think of the fight, Gio?
Yeah, well, on paper, dangerous opponent. Kevin Lil Saggio, representing France. He was going into this fight 26-0, 23 KOs. So we saw the power. We saw the power. I
Yeah,
know a lot of people weren't too convinced by Pacheco. The scorecards, some of them were very wide. But I think more important for me is, they're pushing him. They're allowing him to headline, and I saw rumors of him and Shiraz possibly getting it on. So
uh,
that's good for him. Obviously, the rumors of him and Berlanga have always been around, but I think the Shiraz one would be great. Mm. Shiraz is he's on a tear right now. He looked very good against Edgar Berlanga. Not so much in his title fight before that, the one where it was a draw, but yeah, Pacheco's gonna get interesting fights. He's a marketable guy, but I agree too. I think he needs to maybe do a little more. Um, and I know a lot of these guys don't like to be all on social media or do all these interviews, but sometimes it's needed, man. Entertainment, man. There's a reason why, we're gonna tune into Paul Joshua or Stevenson against Teofimo, but because you never know what to expect. It's the whole lead up to it. It's the interviews, the press conferences, and then the fight itself, and then the post fight interview. It's an all around, kind of package. But yeah, I like
yeah,
Pacheco. I'm surprised that he
yeah,
got dropped, but there's big fights coming for him for sure.
yeah. Pacheco's a good guy, Gio. I know I've told this story on the podcast before. Ran into him at a bar. Good kid, nice kid, very respectful. But man, I want to see a little bit more meanness. I want to see a little bit more, just more on the mic. So a little bit more personality. Again, I think of Shea Mosley when he was young. He soft spoken. He did all his talking in the ring. And I know I've said this before, but just add a little flavor. Add a little flavor on the mic. Doesn't hurt. Again, it's the entertainment game. So yeah, man. Again, he's got all the tools. Again, can't wait to see his next fight. Like you said, it shows that they're putting him with some stiffer competition, and it's going to be tougher. He's still going to be the blue chip fighter, the A side, as people call it. But yeah, man. Again, I'm excited to see what comes next. I know it's getting tougher. I would love to see Berlanga, Gio. If you had to ask me between Shiraz and Berlanga, I would love to see Berlanga and Pacheco. I think that one would sell. Berlanga would get a bag for sure because he's not going to be favored in that fight. So I think they got to put Pacheco in there some with another fighter that has a big fan base that can get his name out a little bit more. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad at the Shiraz either. But I think it's a little too soon.
Yeah,
You gotta let that fight marinate, Gio.
yeah, that might have to be in the UK, honestly.
Yeah,
Shiraz might pull in more people, but yeah, I think that's all I have for today. Chris, anything else you wanted to mention?
I know you want to talk about the goat. The goat announcing the
Oh
retirement,
man,
Gio.
I almost I almost made it out of here, man. I was trying to
I'm trying
duck
to get
that
out of
one.
here. Man, let me ask, what did you think? I know you've been, one of Crawford's biggest critics. But what did you think when you heard that he retired today, Gio?
I was surprised. I honestly thought he might want another payday, run it back with Canelo. I was hearing some rumors. But at the same time, man, going back to the payday, he got that payday. So now what? Any fight after this, unless it's versus Canelo, it's going to be less money. And we know he was not interested in fighting some of those younger guys like Boots Ennis. Um, so I'm surprised, but look, he's 38 years old. got the biggest bag of his life, and he probably said, "Hey, man, it doesn't get any better than this." So call it a day. I don't know if I believe it, Chris. I'm like 70-30, like 70% yes, 30% no. He might come back. That's Turkey's boy. Turkey might want to see him fight again. So at the end of the day, we know Turkey has a lot of power over him. No disrespect, but we've seen him hold hands and all that. So he might come back. I think there's a decent 30% chance that he comes back.
Yeah, let me just say I was shocked only because of the name that you just mentioned, Turkey. I feel like this partnership just kind of started, and I feel like Turkey sees Crawford as an investment, even though he's 38, even though he's at the tail end. I felt like Turkey wanted to see more fights, almost like when you get Canelo in a contract and you signed 4 or 5 fights. I felt that it was going to be that way. So for it to end abruptly, it was a little shocking. Having said that, you're right. He is 37, 38 years old. He's not a young buck anymore. He's fought for many, many years. He's in great shape, but 38 is 38. And so you want to enjoy that money. You got it right. You know, the biggest bag of his career, payday. He busted at Marquez. You know, there's not going to be any bigger win than that. And so there's no way to top it, in my opinion. And you mentioned there's a lot of younger, dangerous fighters. I would still favor Crawford over all of them, but it's still dangerous. They're younger. One punch can change everything. Like you said, he's got money. He's got 8 kids. I think he made the decision. He went on social media and said that he's going to walk on his terms and walk away from the sport with everything intact. So again, congratulations to him, to a great career. I know I was one of his, supporters throughout the podcast. Sometimes I was nervous. Sometimes I was made to look like a genius. But yeah, again, biggest win of his career, the Canelo one and the Errol Spence. So again, there's not much, in my opinion, that there's left to do. Even if he fights guys that are 154 dangerous, he's gonna have to fight 6 of them to make even an ounce of what he made with Canelo. So I think, you know, if he says it's time, I kind of believe it, Gio. I think I'm more 90-10. If he comes back, it has to be something crazy, in my opinion. So yeah, man, he chose to retire when John Cena retired, and end of an era, in my opinion, Gio.
I've made peace with what's next, Crawford said in a YouTube video. Now it's time. And 50 million is what he made. 50 million is what he made against Canelo. So, big bro, not too impressed. Let's see what he said. He said, weak sauce. He's probably going to come back like most that retire and unretire. We'll
Yeah,
see. That's what I
I
think will
don't think
happen.
he's gonna come. I was gonna say I don't think he's gonna come back unless just that competitive nature is just too much and he gets bored. He has to find something outside of the fighting arena, whether it's promoting, whether it's coaching, whatever it is. But I feel like it has to be at a very high level for him not to get the itch to come back. So yeah, man. Again, we'll see what happens. I'm a little. Are you surprised, Gio, that he retired? Like, I know there's rumors with the Canelo. Like, what have you heard? What are your thoughts? What do you thinking happened with the Canelo rematch?
I don't know. Maybe this is a way to build it up. Who knows? Who knows?
Do you want to see that rematch?
Hey,
Do you feel
they've already
like
said
Canelo will have?
Canelo. They already said Canelo's skipping Cinco de Mayo weekend, so they got a lot of time to build it up and figure it out, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. If Canelo comes back in September, which I agree he should have a long vacation. I think his body has been through so much, wear and tear. Even though he won, 95%, 96% of his matches, the wear and tear since year 15 is a lot. So I do I do agree that he should take Cinco de Mayo off and let his body rest, let his mind just, decompress. And if he's able to lure Crawford out of retirement for September, I think we would welcome it. And I think that one would be a little bit more competitive. Don't want to say Canelo underestimated Crawford, but I feel like the way De La Hoya underestimated Manny Pacquiao, I think something similar happened here. So we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna bet the house on it, but if it does, I'll welcome it, Gio, in September of next year.
We'll see. We'll see. I still don't know how I feel about it. Like I said, I don't fully believe it, so we'll see. We'll have more time to talk about it, I'm sure. But yeah, I think that's all I got for today, Chris. 40-something minutes in. We're going, obviously, Joshua KO, right? We'll add this to our predictions.
Yeah, Joshua KO. I said, and then we're just having fun with it, trying to guess the round and see who gets closer. But I said round 7. You said round 5.
5. I'm going with 5. All right. Yep, that's going down Friday. Don't miss it if you have Netflix. We'll be back next week, Chris. We still have Naoya Inoue at the end of the year. Junto Nakatani also on that undercard. So we still got some action. And of course, we got to do the end of the year award show. That's going to be exciting. Next week is the Christmas week, Chris. So we got to do it. We got to be back. And yeah, we'll break it all down. We'll see. We'll see how Anthony Joshua looks, man, at 36 years old, you said, right?
That's right. That's right.
36. Let's go, mate.
I was going to say, since we have our boy Ramon, do you want to do a prediction on that one? I know we don't know too much about his opponent, but do you want to do a prediction for that one? Do you think, obviously, we're going to have to go with him, right? We can't go against the the brothers of the podcast. Do you say he wins by decision or knockout?
Yeah, I'm going to go Ramon KO. I think that's a good one to add to that. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna say Ramon knockout too. I was gonna say decision, but I gotta give him love, and I think he needs the knockout. He wants the knockout to make a statement and bounce back for sure.
Sure, I need some knockouts, Chris. I'm over here showing Paulie power, man. Mayweather power. Come on, man. I'm gonna start throwing haymakers.
You see the comment that Kyle said, round 6, 7, man. I think I know he came in a little bit late to the podcast, but he's over here taking my scorecard, Gio.
Yeah, there you go. Throwing some haymakers at the end, but yeah, I think that's all. That's all for today. Thank you guys for keeping that chat lit. Big Bro has one last comment. Says, if it's not round 1, it's rigged, he says. Let's go.
All right. Vámonos. Let's
subscribe if you're new to the channel, man. Check out that last interview with Raymond Mortalla. We had him live last week on the podcast, last Thursday. Check it out. He has a big fight coming up January 24th against Andy Cruz. Title fight. And yeah, we'll be back next week. Thank you, mates. Againstdaropes.tv, right, Chris?
Let's go. Againstdaropes.tv.
Check it out.
You guys write in. If you guys want to write stories, we'll check them out and we'll post them up. Vámonos. Let's go.
Check it out. Let's go, mates. I'm expecting all you Brits to invade Miami on Friday, man. Let's go.
So vámonos.
Payday. Payday.
92 million.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco Gallo. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas. Un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Huge shout out to Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time out y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.